Yeah, welcome back to the weekly update. This is the update for Friday, August 5th. So let's go ahead and we'll go through this and we'll talk about my thoughts. So this is upcoming audio. Oh, just dropped it. This is upcoming audio updates. Dear Stormworkers, this week is announcement week with a minor update due for release next week. We are working hard to improve Stormworks in many directions. Some of these directions are less interesting to talk about in an announcement, such as fixing crashes and digging through netcode, while more cosmetic changes tend to be easier to write about. One such direction we're exploring is improvements to the audio. For a long time, players have been asking for improvements to various sound effects and asking for new sound effects where audio would be useful feedback. For the last 8 years, we have been lucky enough to work with Chris Randall and John Dow across various games. For sound effects, it has worked best in the past to order in batches, but for Stormworks, we have frequently found ourselves needing sound effects on a weekly basis for a new component or interaction. That has encouraged reuse of sound effects or missing SFX out. That's kind of a hard sentence to say. And there are many places where we would want to improve. Instead of ordering in batches, we will now be having a sound engineer work weekly with the team to improve all these missing and borrowed sounds, but also work creatively on sound design. We hope this will bring a big improvement of quality of audio over the coming months, and we will be looking to players to let us know where we should start and where the highest priorities are in terms of improving audio. In the meantime, we'll also be getting on with all the various fixes, improvements, minor updates, including new frequently requested components, major updates, and potential new DLC and more. We look forward to your audio ideas. Much love, Stormworks developers. So I've read through this before, and I really like that they went in here and they talked about how they actually did things in the past. They talked about how they acknowledged that people have been asking for audio improvements, and they talked about how they were ordering in batches. So this was actually kind of interesting for me, and it kind of was a little look behind the curtain, and it makes sense why people will talk about a new part comes out like the steam pistons. A lot of the community has been saying, "Oh, I wish it had sound." And why would the devs release it without sound? And it kind of showing us behind the curtain, I think was a good idea. Was it sounds like they don't have a sound engineer on on a full-time basis. Sounds like they're doing it via contract, and so when they need to get a sound engineer to come in to do stuff for either this game or some of their other games, they're having them come in for a contracted period of time. Let's say 2 weeks, and so they say, hey, we have these 100 things we need engineered in this 2-week period. And so it wouldn't make sense, or it hadn't made sense in the past, to have a sound engineer come in weekly to do these, to put in the audio for the different parts that they're releasing on a weekly basis. So that's a good look behind the curtain, and I wish they would do this a little bit more. If they explained why some of these things are the way they are, I think it would demystify it a little bit to people. People were annoyed that this sound hasn't been fixed. One of them's the propellers, and it's kind of annoying to me. Was I think the propeller sounds are too loud on boats, and so you ask the question, well, why haven't they fixed this yet? Why haven't they fixed this yet? And the steam pistons, why did they come out without sound? Well, this makes perfect sense. If they were hiring somebody on a contract basis and they know, okay, we have Chris and John come in every, say, 2 months to do a bunch of audio engineering, well, they know, hey, we have to release this without sound, or we have to reuse audio. That's been a complaint of people, that things have reused audio. And then in a couple months, that'll be on their to-do list, and hopefully it gets done. And so by letting us know what's going on, that really, I think, it kind of nips a lot of criticism in the bud when people could understand, hey, we're not going to have the audio engineers in for a couple months, so this is placeholder audio. In a couple months, the audio will change. I think if they just went ahead and did that and said that, I know they'd be here all day answering these sorts of things, but like it's been a complaint, of the boat propellers, that they're too loud, and I agree. And so, for example, if you went into the bug tracker and you were to, going to support that thing that said boat propellers are too loud, and the devs put a response saying, we're currently working on, we plan on fixing the audio for the boat propellers. We have our sound engineers come in once every 2 months, so that's going to be on their to-do list, in say September. Well, that would kind of tell the community, hey, in September, the that audio is probably going to get worked on, so stop complaining about it. Which, by letting us know some of these things, I think it nips a lot of the problems in the bud. So it sounds like, instead of ordering batches, now they're going to have a sound engineer come in weekly. So I think this is really good. It seems like they're really picking off issues they're having, and they're really trying to come up with new solutions to them. So I'm really happy with that. I think they're taking steps in the right direction. I think this openness is really helpful. I think telling us, hey, this is why you've had that terrible boat propeller sound for a while. We only get these people in every once in a while because they're not our full-time employees. They're on contract. And so we contract them. Again, I'm making up these times and I'm making up the scenario, but they come in every 2 months. And so we can't even have it worked on because we're not professional sound engineers, so we want it to be sound professional. So that makes sense. So it sounds good that they're going to have them come in, they're going to work on these things. And again, they're reaching out to the community to let us know where we should start and where the priorities for audio improvement. So if you're going on Reddit and complaining about boat propeller sounds, again, something that annoys me, that's probably not where they want you to go. So most likely the bug tracker, the in-game bug tracker, I would say, if you want your audio issue addressed, make sure you put it in the right place, because that's, I assume, where they're going to look. They can't look everywhere and they can't gauge it. And I would say they have analytics on the actual bug tracker that tell them, hey, this many people want the annoying propeller noise fixed. That's our highest priority. So when the engineers come in, they say, hey, can you please work on these boat propellers? So if you want something fixed, make sure you take the time to go to the right place and voice your concerns. And that's something I'm going to take my own advice. I'm going to make sure I do that, because I often don't go in the bug tracker and track stuff as much as I should either. So let's go look through this line and we'll finish up. In the meantime, we'll also be getting on with all the various fixes and improvements, minor updates, including new frequently requested components. I'm a sucker for components. I'm really looking forward to that. Next week, what did it say here? Minor update is due next week, so I'll look forward to that. Major updates, again, looking forward to that. There's been a lot of talk in the community of maybe it's fishing. I would love that. Any sort of industry thing, I'm really all for. If you watch my career build series, a lot of people they kind of want the game to give them a narrative and say, hey, go do this, hey, go do that. That's never been the type of game I've really enjoyed. I like to have the option, kind of almost like a side quest, where it says, hey, rescue these people over here, and I can say, no, you know what, I'm doing coal trading today. Or like, yep, yeah, I will go rescue those people. Or I want to go do this. And so by giving us a new major update, potentially fishing or something, has been what the community has been hoping for, I think, as a next one. That would really open up career, I think, even more, where you can say, oh, I want to make a little money, let's go do fishing. Oh, well, I need to build a fishing boat. Okay, let's build a fishing boat. So you can kind of plan your gameplay and really do some cool stuff. I'm all for new DLC. I know that caused a lot of controversy with people. I paid enough for the game. I'm happy as somebody who has money to just to continue to support this game. I think gaming's one of the cheapest forms of entertainment, and for 15 minutes of work, I can go to work for 15 minutes and buy a new DLC and support the game. And the more I support the game, the more likely this game will be supported back by the developers and hopefully continue to move forward. So I'm really looking forward to that. I wish they had said where they. I assume it's the bug tracker, but even I don't know where do you want these audio ideas. So I would love to see them to actually say, hey, put all your audio ideas in the bug tracker or something like that, so that they can really put people in one area, and it kind of. It makes it easy for them to come back if the community is like, hey, we wanted you to fix this audio and you didn't, and they can come back and say, well, we said go to the bug tracker and we have the bug tracker. Look, these are the numbers. The number one audio issue was fixed boat propellers. So that was the thing we wanted. The audio issue you wanted was 178. Well, Reddit was filled with, fix this noise. Yeah, but we said go to the bug tracker. So I think they would save themselves some grief, and they would help the community if they would say, hey, go to the bug tracker for the audio idea. So maybe they'll come out next week or whatever and tell us where they'd like to put it, or have a poll or something. But the clearer they are with that, it makes it easier for them to say, hey, we told you this is where we need you to put this information. We have, like I said, 150 people said that this was their number one priority. That was the top priority, so that was the first thing we worked on. And the one that was at the bottom, well, it didn't get touched this time. We'll try to get to it next time, but because the community said it's not of high priority, we didn't prioritize it. So you can kind of lay off some of the work off on the community and say, hey, you tell us what the priority is, and we'll send the engineers in there to work on the priority things. And if they can only do 100 things and yours is 101, it just, the community voted, and that's where it is. So I'm really looking forward to this. I think they're doing a great job. I'm glad they're addressing the audio issues. That boat propeller thing's been annoying me. And I enjoy that they explained why, because it's easy for us to say, oh, the boat propellers have been screwed up for a while. Why haven't they just fixed it? Well, obviously, if they're bringing in outside sound engineers, they don't have somebody on their team who can just spend an afternoon fixing sounds. They have to contract with somebody. So they have to get a contract. They have to schedule with these people who probably have contracts with other places, and they have to actually get them in to do it. And so I think it's good that they let us know that. So that's just my thoughts on the update. Looking forward to hopefully some new parts next week. That would be nice in the minor update. So we'll see you guys next time.